Good morning, everyone. This lesson will be for lesson 8 of our geometry. We're in textbook grade 7, lesson 8 for geometry, G. And it's page 114, 115, and 116 is what the pages will be applying to. Hopefully I'll be able to do this on one video. Not this lesson, but the next pages looks like a lot, but hopefully we'll go through it quickly. All right, so this is a pretty straightforward lesson, and the reason I say that is because I know you are all familiar with the different types of triangles there are. We just talked about it last lesson, but I remember teaching in grade 5. I know you've got taught in grade 6, so hopefully we will be familiar with this and be able to fly through it nice and fast. So there are two different ways that we can identify triangles. The one is based on angles, the other is based on side lengths. We're going to focus on just the angles for first. So how do we recognize different types of triangles? It's based on what sort of angles are making up the triangle. We have right, acute, and obtuse, as we have listed here. A right triangle is known as a right triangle because it has a right angle, and then it has the rest of the triangle. This right angle, as long as it's somewhere on the triangle, the other angles can all be very different. Remember, a triangle always equals 180 degrees, so if this is 90, these other two angles combining have to equal 90 as well. But you can have a whole variety of different right triangles. You can have this one, which is kind of a typical one. You can have a very short, long one. Okay, and this is another right angle. You can also have ones that are very, very tall. They go for a long time. Okay, you can have all sorts of different right triangles, but these are all right triangles because they have a right angle. Not perfectly, but you understand the idea. Acute. An acute triangle is a triangle that is made up of only angles that are less than 90 degrees. Okay, the rule is if you have an obtuse angle in a triangle, you cannot have any other obtuse angles because, say you have an angle that is 95 degrees, the other two angles have to be 85 or less. Combining, or 85, because it has to equal 180 together. So an acute triangle says there are no obtuse angles, there are no right angles. It is just shorter ones. This one right here that I tried to draw, it's not perfect. It would be like an equilateral triangle, which is 60 degrees, 60. What perfectly? If I were to do it, these would all be 60 degrees. Okay. I did draw it perfectly, but the idea is still the same. This is still an acute triangle because it has only acute angles. Then our last type of triangle based on angles, our last triangle that we measure based on angles is an obtuse triangle, and that one is, it has one angle that is greater than 90 degrees, and the other two are smaller, obviously. So these are three different types of triangles: right, acute, obtuse. If we were to look at three different ways we can classify triangles, we classify them on the side lengths. So I have some beautiful depictions of some wonderful looking triangles. But you'll notice that I have little lines here. What these lines are indicating is this line says that there is only one length that is this length. If I had another length like on this one that has this one line going through it, it's indicating that these are the same length. But this one has 1, 2, 3 different lengths of sides, and that's called a scalene triangle. Then we have an isosceles triangle, which is probably one of the more fun ones to say. And these are indicating that I have this side length and this side length are the same, approximately. Obviously, these drawings aren't perfect. And then I have one side length that's different. That's isosceles. So 2 of the same length, isosceles, none of the same length, scalene. And if I have 3 the exact same length, that means that it's equilateral, and that is why they only have one line through each one. This would also be the same as an acute triangle that I drew over here. The only way to draw an equilateral triangle is to have angles that are 60 degrees. It's the only way. But this is pretty much what the review will be for page 114, 115, and 116. It is just a matter of matching up and making sure you're following the instructions properly. I hope this goes well, and I will see you in the next video.